Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm your host, Sienna Leone, and today we are in LA at the Fondatheatre catching up with one of our favorites, the talented Dean Lewis. Hi Dean, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Long time no see.
It's been a while. Yeah, Napa Valley I saw you last time, we were saying, yeah.
Napa Valley, I mean, look at that. A lot of big things have been happening for you since, so congrats on that.
Oh, thank you. No, yeah, it was, things are going crazy since How Do I Say Goodbye. It feels all exciting again.
I mean, just talking about that song coming off of your sophomore album, 500 million streams to date and growing. So listening to that number, that reaction from your fans, tell me about that feeling.
Yeah, well, it was a weird time because after Be Alright, there was COVID and I had 2 years off and I thought everything was kind of like over because no songs were connecting. And then How Do I Say Goodbye came out a year ago and then all of a sudden it goes viral on TikTok and then all the shows are packed again and it was just crazy, and it's changed the dynamic of the shows because everyone's now like crying in the front rows, you know. So yeah, it's been really special.
I want to talk a little bit about that. I mean, like I said, we're at the Fondatheatre. You're performing here in LA, the Future is Bright tour. So this tour started in Australia, then you decide to bring it to the US. So tell me a little bit about this tour process and how it's been for you.
Oh, we've been on the road for 9 months now. The biggest difference is that in Europe and Australia, the shows are much bigger. But when we come to America, we kind of downsize it because in America, it's just a different place for us. So we basically just downsize the show to theaters. But it's interesting. It's just such a different vibe. But the shows have been incredible. I just think I'm from Australia. To be able to come and play these theaters with so many people across America, I feel really lucky to be able to do it because not many Australian artists get to do this, and I feel very lucky.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that, I was outside this theater, you already have fans out there lining up. And I actually said to them, I was like, are you here for the 9 p.m. concert? And it's literally in the sun 7 hours before. So your fans are dedicated. But some of the my favorite stuff watching your content, I mean, I love how you have your parents on your social media reacting to things. But also you see your fans just get so into these songs and your team captures, them crying, them blaring, blasting, singing along to the lyrics. So when you see that from, your tour, your shows, what's that like for you? Do you see that when you're performing?
Yeah, I see it all the time. The first few rows now, everyone's like just really emotional. It's changed it all because people used to cry. I used to write breakup songs. I still do, but How Do I Say Goodbye made it a different thing. It was more deep. And so the first bunch of rows, this is my brother with the camera, by the way, and he's always filming people's reactions. And we just noticed when we film people being emotional, people connected to it more. So the first front rows is it's just a cry fest, especially for How Do I Say Goodbye.
So it's very therapeutic for people. Is that therapeutic for you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I've played the song so many times. I think the first 100 times you play it, you really feel it, and then it starts to become exciting because I'm like, oh, I know people are going to react. But I look out and I see them while they're crying. I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh. And but it feels like a positive thing. It doesn't feel like depressing, you know what I mean? For them as well.
Absolutely. Now looking at this US leg of your tour, you have sarahkays joining you. So how did you guys team up?
Well, they just said, do you want Sarah to do it? And I was like, yeah, I love her music. I love the song Remember the Night. It's just incredible, and she's just a really nice, genuine person. Okay.
I wish I was here so badly. Your songs, I mean, Be Alright, Waves, Little Lost Without You, How Do I Say Goodbye. So, you're coming out with hit after hit, but like you said, How Do I Say Goodbye kind of, you saw that blow up again. So when you compare that to when Be Alright, blew up, is that feeling the same, or does it get a little okay, let's keep going for another hit?
Well, I think it's different. Back then I had nothing, and then Be Alright, my life changed, and then you're set up in a different way. So I didn't really need. For me, it was more just to personally go, I've had another song that's a big hit. Oh, cool, okay, I've proven myself I can do it. It wasn't as big as Be Alright. Be Alright was a weird thing that's like a once in a lifetime thing, but I just feel lucky to be able to keep doing it, and I think I appreciate it all now. Appreciate it.
Now, also, when Be Alright came out and it blew up, also, social media and the music industry, it's also very different now. Yeah. So tell me about that, pushing your songs on TikTok, on Instagram Reels. How are you finding that whole process?
Well, I got on kind of early because I started realizing I released a couple of songs and they didn't get picked up, and I was like, oh, so people can stop me if they don't like my music. So I was like, well, if I post on TikTok, like if I really think about it, like I got on early, you know what I mean? And then I started posting stuff and it started going viral. And I think if I just stayed, I think in a way they kind of helped me, some of these gatekeepers who almost like closed the door, because it made me go a different route, which now I control. And now I have this big fan base on there where I can, you know, show them my music without them. And then if it works there, everyone supports it anyway. So I think TikTok's has taken the power out of the hands of all these gatekeepers. And now you can really, if you think about it, it's hard, but you can get things going.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, tour, it's a big one. Like you said, you've been on tour, what, 9 months? Yeah. Okay, and you're on tour till November. You're finishing in Hawaii?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But, you know, any other musicians, you know, that you look up to, that are in your life, that have given you some advice or some tips on going on tour? Anything that you could share?
Yeah, I haven't had I've never got any big opening opportunities, so I never actually got the chance to ask anyone that. But one thing that Anson Ciara told me was that we're entitled to the art, not the response. And that's been really important for me, because I really think about that a lot, is you're entitled to create it, you're not entitled for it to succeed every time. And so that's the thing that I think about a lot, the best advice he gave me, and I stick with that now, and I try to focus on the effort, not the results. And focusing on, my best mate gave me this other advice, which is great art finds a way. And so no matter what anything's happening in the world, you can be up here or here, but if you make something great, business, podcast, if you're really good at what you do, it will find a way. It does always. So that's what I follow, and it's worked for me.
Beautifully said. You know, I'm a fan of you as a musician, as a person. You're great. So I love catching up with you. Last question here. What's next? New music? What's after tour? Are you going to take some time to yourself?
Oh, no, I'm jumping. As soon as this is over, I'm going to go. I've almost finished the next album, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be in Los Angeles. I'm going to have like 2 months to write new songs. I'm going to finish the album and then start writing the next one. I just love it. I love doing this. A holiday for me is being in LA, going to coffee shops and then writing during the day. That's my holiday. I love it.
Booked and busy. I love to hear it. As we stay booked and busy, you guys, Dean Lewis, have fun tonight. I wish I was staying again, but be sure to be giving this video a big thumbs up and go follow Dean Lewis. Show him some love. He has some songs and an album coming out hopefully sooner than later. But thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.